Raintown! Hey guys, welcome to the NATO class. Welcome to Raintown Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about the 5 love languages. Who here has read the book, The 5 Love Languages? If you haven't, you're a slacker and you need to, okay? 5 love languages helps teach us how to relate to people. It helps teach us how to show people that we care about, that we actually care about them. Right? We talk about 5 different ways of showing that you care about somebody. Anybody remember any of them? I have a hard time, so I got them written down. I cheat. You ready?
Yep.
You ready? What I'm going to do, I'm going to just name all 5. We're going to start with 1, and then we're going to talk about what that might mean. And I want you to talk about maybe someone that you know that likes to be shown love in that certain sort of way. Then the key to this is I want you to tell me why you think they like to be shown love in that sort of way. Okay? Is that fair? Can we do that? Yes? 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 All right, I like your reaction right there. Or something like that. All right, today, first of all, we're going to start off with words of affirmation. Right? Words of affirmation. Some people like to be shown love by words of affirmation. What does that mean to you? What are words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation to me means someone that's constantly in communication with you.
Mm-hmm. That's a big part of it. They're always in communication with you. What else does it mean?
Maybe you're with somebody who likes to compliment you a lot.
Complimenting, I think, is the key right there. Complimenting is the key right there. Someone who likes to, they need affirmation that they're okay, especially in your eyes. Right? You have agents on the team who are always seeking our approval. They want to know that everything is okay. Right? I know if I don't give them the time of day, if I don't give them those 5 minutes, that they're going to feel like I don't love them. Right? So words of affirmation. Anyone have a client who their love language is words of affirmation? Anybody have one? Yeah. So yes, you do. Laura, talk to me. Who is that? You don't have to mention a name.
I'm not going to give names, yeah. A client that I'm working with right now, she just loves the follow-up and just staying in constant communication with her. But then also, okay, you're doing a really good job. Congratulations on your pre-approval, and just having that constant communication that way.
Mm-hmm. It's very big. It's very big. Anybody else have an example of someone that they know? Words of affirmation is their big thing.
Yeah, I have a client that just loves to do everything together, and she really appreciates when I even just go pick her up and we just have simple talks over coffee.
That's not words of affirmation. That's okay. That's a great example. We're going to talk about that person a little bit. So words of affirmation are oftentimes like this. Haley, I just want you to know that I appreciate you today. You're doing a great job. Thanks for showing up on time. You're a great example to everyone. That's words of affirmation. Clint, you're our #1 salesperson. Bam! Look at you go. You are the man. Those are words of affirmation. And you know that someone else wants those words of affirmation simply because they tend to do that to you, even when you don't deserve it. But what they're saying is, hey, you do the same thing to me because it makes me feel good. Okay? Everyone got that? Words of affirmation. Think about the people in your life. Think about your clients right now who do that for you. Right? Who do that. And when you show up, there are always those people that are going to say, God, Chris, you're amazing. Thanks for showing me homes. You're always so good about making sure that you have all the information for me. Words of affirmation. How do you know that that's what they want? Because they tell you, and then how are you going to say it back? How are you going to show love back to someone like that? Kim?
You need to give them the same love language, so you need to give them the words of affirmation back.
Right, so what'd you say to me? Be nice
Rob,
to me.
you're doing an awesome job today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I was really reaching for that one, wasn't I? Yeah, I was. But I appreciate it. Thank you. You had something?
Yeah. It dawned on me, the client that I'm under contract with right now, she's constantly, I will send her information, and then she follows up and she's like, La Varita, because she's Spanish. And she's just like, you're the best agent. You always give us the best information. And so I fire it right back. I'm just like, you guys are so great. You get your paperwork in on time, everything that's needed. So it's like this constant back and forth. And she's always lifting me up, too.
Perfect. Those are words of affirmation. Those are people who say, hey, I want you to feel good because I want to feel good. And you say it back, and it makes them know that they're loved and cared about, right? People don't want to know about how much, they don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care, right? And this is proof of it. This is showing that you care. Right, words of affirmation. We're going to go into quality time. Now, mister, we're going to talk about quality time because you mentioned it earlier. What is quality time? That means that someone wants to spend time with you. Now, for a busy real estate agent, this is always my hardest one to show because I don't have time. And someone wants to go have coffee with me afterwards, most of the time it's like, I get it, but I got 4 more appointments after you. It ain't going to happen. So I have to make sure I go out of my way to spend time with them, right? What can quality time look like? Give me some examples. Give me an idea there, Clint.
Sometimes I'll go have a beer with a client because they like quality time, but I make sure to schedule the extra time with them. So.
Very good. It's showing them that you care about them enough to take time out of your busy schedule. Give me another example. Somebody here give me an example of what a quality time could look like.
If you do have the extra time during a tour, I've actually, after we're done looking through the house, I've just sat at the kitchen table with the clients for like 20 extra minutes, just chatting with them. And I make them feel like I want to be there, so.
You don't keep looking at your watch.
No.
Right? I
No.
think this is one of the biggest problems with the new Apple Watch and Samsung watches that, that ring and they buzz every single time you have a message because you're talking to someone very intently, and as soon as you do this, you say, the quality time is over. You're no longer important because what's important to me is what's on this right here. It's one of the reasons I don't have one anymore because I can see it in people's eyes when they see me looking at my watch and they go, guess I'm not that important, right? So I'm going to warn you guys all about that. Everybody about that. Be careful. Those people who care about quality time, they're going to look at you like you don't love them. Just like that, okay? Quality time. It's a big deal. How do people show you that that's what they want? Once again, how do they show you? Chris?
They'll tell you, or like they'll ask you, Like I had one client that said, like, "Can you want to come meet my husband, my dad?" And he's in California, but then I was sick, but like, cause he was leaving early, I still made the intent to go see him, and they really appreciated it. Like that's what they wanted. They didn't even care I was sick. They still invited me in, and it's going great.
How do you show love back? What did Clint do? What did Clint do when he says, when he's talking about the beer guy, what did he do?
He scheduled, yeah.
He scheduled it, right? So what can you can ask him, hey, you want to have a beer afterwards? Even though for me it was really hard to do that, I have to find time for those people. Not every time we go out, but I'd have to find time, right? I'd have to bump up like a half hour, go get coffee, go grab a quick lunch, something like that. Even bring something to eat for everyone. That way they can see that, hey, I'm spending the time with them, but I only have so much time, right? That sound good? Big deal. Third one, receiving gifts. I tell you, a couple of my girls, that's their love language. They like gifts. When they were, Carly, when she was very little, and I was in real estate, you know how real estate agents will often put a little bowl of candy out, right? I will always take a piece of candy and stick it in my pocket. And when I got home, I would give her that candy, and she was in heaven. I mean, that was her deal. And every time I come home, she'd come running to me, whoa, did you have anything for me? This is her, and it remains, she's 27 years old, and this is her love language, right? Right? So anyone else have an idea, have an example of someone whose love language is gifts? Yeah, Kim.
Yeah, the love language of gifts, it's when your client starts bringing you things. I mean, they show up with a bottle of wine, or they show up with flowers, they show up with cookies. You kind of feel bad, but then you realize that they're the ones that love the gifts, so then you got to remember to bring them a gift as well, even if it's something small.
That's exactly right. When someone brings me a gift, and it's like, I was getting myself a cup of coffee, and I thought you might want one. Oh, warms my heart, right? It's like, they care about this, and so they want to show me that they care about me. That's really cool. That's really cool. Coffee or whatever. The great thing about this is my daughter, I was giving her free candy. The idea isn't the gift itself. The idea is that you were away from me and you thought about me and you brought me back something, right? I could just tell by looks on your face. Some of you guys are like, yeah, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. You're away from me and you thought about me. Yeah, it makes us feel super important. It makes us feel loved and cared about, right? Right? So once again, as Kim was saying, how do we show that back? When we see it, how do we show it back? right? How do we do it? How do we show back?
Basically, think about what you know about your client, and if you find something small that made you think of them, bring it with you the next time you see them, and just say, I was thinking about you, thought you might like this.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that's great. One thing that I really like to do when I have a family and the father or the mother, and they have kids, I'll go to the store and I'll buy them 99-cent bottles of bubbles. You can blow them out. I used to buy these things by the case, and when I would show up, I would give them to the kids. And especially the moms and dads who had this gift of this is their thing. They were, once you think of their kids, it's all over. They're not going to, they want to do business with you forever because you love their kids, right? It's a huge deal, huge deal. All right, everyone got that one? What's next? Drum roll. Boom! Acts of service. Acts of service. Tell me, what does acts of service mean?
Well, when I think of acts of service, I think of my dad because he doesn't do words of affirmation or anything like that, but you know he cares because he'll change the oil in your car, or he'll go out and wash your car, something like that. Acts of service are big for him.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Give me an idea of what's an act of service. Somebody. I see a look on your face. I'm not sure if that means you want to answer. If you're like, don't quit looking at me.
No. It's just thinking about past relationships where you're like, why don't you give me words of affirmation? But their way of showing you love is just like that, where, oh, I took you out to dinner, or I, got the groceries, or I stopped by and picked you up flowers. Like, they don't necessarily say it with words, but they're saying it with their actions.
Yeah. So big, isn't that's the huge thing. That is the great thing about the 5 love languages, right? So I'll often say, my client will tell me that they're sick, right? They'll tell me that they're sick. I got, during COVID times, I'm sick. I make the meanest beef barley soup that it kills every bug that you've ever known. It will heal you. I'm going to bring you over some beef barley soup. So if you came and look in my cabinet right now, you see 6 boxes because I just got in my next shipment of beef barley soup. And I make it, and then I'll bring them over some, put it on their front porch and ring the bell and run because I don't want to get sick. But I'll do that for them because for me, that's a big deal. That's an act of service. It's showing people that I'm doing something just for you. Right? I see that you have a need and I'm taking care of it. Right? How many people, agents during COVID time would run and get people masks and get people do things for them? And you can do it today. It doesn't have to be just during COVID time. It can be any time. Just something that you do for someone to say, once again, I'm thinking about you when you're away. I know that you have a need and I'm going to go out of my way to make sure it's fulfilled. Right? Anybody have any examples about that? I can tell you do.
I do, because that's my love language. So I have a 4-wheel drive. So every time it snows, I usually ring up some of my clients that have like electric cars, and I usually ask them if I can go to the store for them and pick them up some food. So
it's a big deal.
yeah.
You know what? And that's a great example. And it also shows us this. It is a proof that we tend to show people love in a way that we like to be shown love, right? You like to be shown love in that way, so you show it that way, right? And you had this great thing where you said you're looking at past relationships and you're saying, we've all missed the mark. Because so many times, you have a kid in a family, you have a significant other, and they're like, you don't show me love. You're like, God, what do you mean? Made you breakfast in bed? I did all these things for you? And what do you mean I don't show you love? Because you haven't recognized what's important to them. You haven't recognized that one thing that's going to make a difference in their life that day. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe they just wanted you to give them an affirmation. Renee's saying, my wife, her thing is affirmation. She likes to be told that she's doing a great job all the time. And so I have to make sure I go out of my way, because that is exactly the opposite of me. I don't need to be told I'm doing a great job all the time, because I always think I'm doing a great job. And even though I might not be, I always think I am. And so for me, it's not huge, but I always have to remember that's how Renee feels love. So anyway, yeah, very good. All right, last one. Last one, and it's physical touch. Meaning it's actually physically touching somebody, right? Just going by them and arm around the shoulders, slug in the arm. A lot of guys will come up to, bam, and I'll give them knuckles, right? Because it's saying, For this second, I'm seeing you and I'm interacting with you, right? Anyone have someone that they know that physical touch is the most important thing to them?
Yeah, I actually have 2 clients right now who are married, and they are both huggers. I'm not a hugger, but I have to make sure that I give them a hug when I leave their house every time.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. A lot of times that's exactly what it is. It's just a simple hug. It's arms around the shoulder. It could be anything. It could be the knuckles. Anybody else have an example of who that is? Kids are oftentimes this way. They might grow out of it and be something different, but who do you know?
My kid, he is huge on snuggling. He just wants to be right next to me, and then he just puts his head on my shoulder. He loves it. And it's funny because I'm not actually a touchy-feely person. So my initial reaction sometimes is I need a little space, but then I have to think this is what he needs, and then I just melt into it, and it's the sweetest thing ever.
It is. My son Aaron, he's exactly the same way. He'll come up to me and he'll put his arms around me. And he's got autism. He's pretty well affected by autism. And most kids with autism don't like to be touched. It's just one of those things. It's a sensory thing. But he wants to know that people are there. So he'll come out and he'll just sit, he'll sit on you. He's a big kid. He's 240 pounds. He'll sit on you just to be close to you. And it's really cool. That's really cool. All right, so today we've learned 5 love languages, right? 5 different ways that you can show people that you care about them. I want to remind everybody that just because it's the way that you're shown love doesn't mean it's the way people feel love. Oftentimes I'll have you guys come to me and you'll say something like this. I have this client. I've done so much for them. I've shown them so many homes. I did this and I did that, and I gave them this information and I did that information. But they left me. They bought a home with someone else. What have you learned from today's lesson? What have you learned from today's lesson about people that do that to you? Someone give me something.
I mean, we didn't speak to their love language. We didn't speak to them how they would want to receive it.
Yes, that's exactly right. However they thought they should be cared for, you didn't recognize it, and then acknowledge it, and then execute it. So when you guys come in with your clients, this is one of the things I'm going to talk to you about. Well, did you talk to them? Did you interact with them in a meaningful way for them? Or did you do it just for you? Your spouses, your kids, your parents, whoever else, right? The one that you don't get along with the most. We all have them, right? We always have those ones that are the hardest to love. Right? And oftentimes, they feel the same way about you. I think that if we just looked at this and said, what is their love language? You could switch things around pretty quickly, right? So I appreciate everyone showing up to the class today. Thanks. This is a big one. This is one that's going to change the trajectory of your business as long as you follow it, okay? Show people you care about them, all right? Appreciate you all. Bam, bam. What is this? What am I doing right now? Bam.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. Appreciate y'all. It's Raintown. Over and out. Bam.